Hey guys! Today we're going to be talking about the African diaspora in Israel.
Freedom is
The African diaspora in Israel is predominantly comprised of Jews of Ethiopian descent. The Ethiopian Jewish community is called Beta Israel and has existed since the 4th century. There are approximately 150,000 people in the Beta Israel community today, the majority of whom live in Israel following a massive expatriation process at the end of the 20th century.
There are several theories as to the origins of the Jewish community in Ethiopia, but their presence is recorded dating back 1,600 years. Despite being isolated from Jewish communities outside of Ethiopia, Beta Israel has continued to practice Judaism for centuries.
Following famine, political unrest, and the religious persecution of the Jewish community in Ethiopia, the Israeli Prime Minister Menachem Begin first permitted the Ethiopian Jews to relocate to Israel. Over a period of 30 years and several ambitious operations by the Israeli security services, such as Operation Moses and Operation Solomon, tens of thousands of Ethiopian Jews were rescued and brought to Israel.
Even though a whole generation of Ethiopian-Israelis have now been born and raised on Israeli soil, they continue to be treated as second-class citizens in Israel. The numerous protests and violent clashes between Ethiopian Jews and the Israeli police in recent years indicates that they have not successfully been accepted and integrated into wider Israeli society. The unrest is the result of decades of frustration at the unjust treatment the community has received.
Ethiopian Israeli young people have a lower attendance rate in school than the national average. They face higher rates of unemployment and restricted access to public resources. Ethiopian Jews also face higher levels of poverty and are more likely to be stopped and searched, arrested and incarcerated.
On the whole, Ethiopian Israelis earn lower wages than the general population, have limited educational opportunities, and are statistically more likely to go to prison. They are continuously confronted with discrimination and institutional racism.
For example, in the 1990s it came to light that an Israeli blood bank had destroyed the blood donated by Ethiopian Jews due to concerns that the blood may be infected by HIV. In 2012, protests were sparked when it emerged that some Israeli landlords in southern Israel had agreed not to rent or sell their properties to Jews of Ethiopian origin. In 2018, it was revealed that a kosher winery was not allowing Ethiopian workers to touch the wine due to fears that they were not Jewish and therefore the wine would no longer be kosher. Police brutality against Ethiopian Israelis has been the cause of major civil unrest. In 2015, a young Ethiopian Israeli soldier in uniform, Demas Fekade, was brutally beaten by Israeli police in a seemingly unprovoked attack. The incident was caught on camera and sparked massive protests from the Ethiopian Israeli community. Protests erupted again in the summer of 2019 when Israeli police killed an unarmed black teenager, 19-year-old Solomon Teka.
There have been small signs of progress in certain areas. At the beginning of 2020, it was announced that the Chief Rabbinate Council of Israel reconfirmed the Beta Israel community as Jewish after officials continued to question their heritage 45 years after the initial ruling.
Only the Ethiopian Jews known as the Falash Muha, who converted to Christianity to avoid religious persecution, are required to undergo a conversion process when they relocate to Israel. The Ethiopian National Project is a partnership of organizations that unites the government of Israel and the Ethiopian-Israeli community in its mission to help integrate Ethiopian Israelis into Israeli society.
The Beta Israel community continues to campaign for better living conditions and access to resources. Time will tell how the situation evolves.
freedom is